Hey, thank you for hopping on here today. I am just going to press record because I know that there are some girls who can't make it. So, happy Thursday. It's kind of like the last week of school craziness. I know a lot of people are off work next week. So, I don't know if you guys feel like me, but you kind of feel like you're in a sprint today and tomorrow. But I'm excited. I'm so excited just to dive into the meat of our call today and really talk about preparing our heart for the new year. I think this is such an important topic, and it's something that a lot of people just do not take the time to do. And so I'm excited to dive in today. Today, what I'm going to walk us through is something that I've put together for our team. This is actually the third year that we've done something similar. There's been tweaks throughout the 3 years. But for me, this really started at the end of 2018. And it was kind of in between. I had Emmeline at the time, and we were starting to think about trying for another baby, or we may have already, I think we were just starting to think about trying for another baby. May have even gotten pregnant around that time. But I was kind of at this place in my business where I was like, you know what? I'm ready to take it to the next level. Like I feel like there is more. And I, at that point, had already been in the business for 4.5 years. And like many of you guys, I feel like it's a resounding conversation, and just something I hear all the time is I thought I should be farther along than I was. And I just was kind of at this crossroads of like, okay, if I really want to make this business my full-time job, and I really want to be able to leave after I have this next baby, something has got to change. And what I realized was a lot of it was not about the business. It wasn't what the business was or wasn't doing for me. It was honestly my mindset about the business, and the kind of framework and the brand that I had personally built. And for me, it was a lot of just not really wrapping my mind around the fact that I could do this and believing honestly that I could. And so I took the end of that year, 2018, and that was the first year that I put this guide together. But I didn't roll it out to the team that year. It was literally just for me. And I put something very similar together, walked through it, and it was honestly a game changer for me. I went into 2019 with a plan. I went in with a vision. I went in with this is what I want to make happen in my business this year. And that was the first year that I hit elite. So 2019, I hit elite, 2020, and now 2021. Haven't announced that yet, but I actually hit elite last Thursday. This was the first year I hit elite, and it was really sitting down and doing these things that we're going to talk about today. You have to take time, guys, to reflect on your business. And truthfully, these are things that little pieces of this you should be doing every single month. I recently today got my Cultivate What Matters. If you guys have not heard about this, they used to be called the Power Sheets, but they're from the company Cultivate What Matters. And she's been doing these for 10 years. And I had heard about them from Michelle, literally 7 years ago. And, they love them. Every entrepreneur I know was using them. They've been using them for the past 10 years. And every time I went to get them, they were sold out. And so I've never been able to grab them. And they've actually turned it into a planner of sorts. But I was looking through it a second ago, and it was cool because it's not a planner like a daily planner. It's a planner that helps you kind of plan out your month and your goals and then track them. And then at the end of the month, reflect on them. And so I think this is just so important. One thing that I read today in the book Slide Edge, which if you have not read that book, it is incredible. So good. I highly recommend it. But one thing that he talked about is how a lot of times when it comes to growth, right? There's a natural progression of success, and it's literally plant, cultivate, and harvest. And so a lot of times we want to see that harvest really, really quickly. But the reality is that cultivating can only happen over the course of time. And so we plant the seeds, but the cultivation is going to take time. And a lot of us try to get ahead of ourselves. We think that we deserve for this thing to happen quicker. And especially because we live in such an instant gratification world, right? Like a lot of people just want to see instant success, or they think about our health and fitness journeys, right? People are like, oh, new year, new me. I'm going to start this challenge, but they're not thinking long term. They're not thinking about this journey over the next 4 years. They're thinking about this journey for January, and that's it. And a lot of us do that in the business. I've actually kicked myself for telling people to give it a year, because I've heard people say at the end of the year, well, I feel like I should be farther along, or they're reassessing their business and being like, am I where I need to be at a year? Because here's the thing, guys, this is a journey. And for some people, what happens at a year might take another person 3 years. And what happens at 3 years for one person might take another person 6 months. And so all of our journey is a little bit different, but we show up every day and we master the mundane things, and we have the simple daily disciplines that we are doing repeatedly over time. And that's what's going to add up to the big difference that's in your business. And so taking this time at the end of the year to pause and to reflect on 2021 and what you could have done better, how you could have showed up better, what needs to change in order for you to show up your best self in 2022 and actually start to see growth in yourself, but also in your business and in your coaches and in your clients, and helping them see success, because that is our job as coaches, is to help people get results. And so I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and we're going to dive into the meat of today's call. So I'm just going to share this with you. And like I said, this is really, truly what we're walking through today. It's a guide. And so at the end of the call today, I'm going to upload this. It's already on my blog. I shared this last week on my blog. But I'm going to upload this into the file section. And really the purpose of it is for you to print off and walk through on your own. This may take you a couple days. This may take you a week. It just kind of depends on how much time you have. I printed mine off last week, and I'm a little over halfway through, just like doing it in different parts of my day. But you'll see, like I said, it's truly a guide. So I printed off the sheets that have the questions on them, and that way I could sit down and truly kind of reflect in the quiet moments, whether it's extra time after my quiet time, or maybe you sit down for a nap time one day and just knock the whole thing out. I think that's really up to you and whatever time you've got. So, all right, so let's dive into preparing your heart for 2022. Sounds crazy to say, 2022. Okay, so first what we want to do is we want to reflect and celebrate. This is so important, guys. These are just some questions that I want you to work through. Again, take some time, print this sheet off. But if there was one word to describe 2021, what would it be? What were the highlights of this past year? And what area did you grow the most? Did you become a better version of yourself this year? Did you just surround yourself with people that make you better? So important, guys. That is such an important question. Who inspired growth in you? Continue to study them. Think about their success. How are they inspiring growth in you? Do you have people in your life, spiritually, mentally, in your business, every area of your life? This isn't just about your business. This is about your entire life, right? Do you have people who are spurring you on to grow in your walk with the Lord? Do you have mentors? Do you have women surrounding you for accountability? Are you in a small group? Do you have people that are really, truly spurring you on? Because you can be in those things and have people around you that are not spurring you on. You can be in those circles and have people who are dragging you down. And so are you really, do you have people in your life that are inspiring growth? And then what is one area you realize you need to develop in? I think it's easy to see a plank in other people's eyes, or things in our coaches, or things in our circles of friends. But what in our own life needs development? What needs surrender? What needs to be laid at Jesus' feet? Is Jesus the Lord of it all? This is a question that I constantly ask myself. Is this really truly about what God has called me to? Is it still for his glory? In my daily task, as I show up in the mundane, am I doing it for the glory of God, or am I doing it for my own praise, for my own self-glorification? How can you spend more meaningful time with your kids? How can you do that if you're a working mama? Like, how can you spend more meaningful time with your kids? If you're a stay-at-home mom, how can you spend more meaningful time with your kids? How can you truly show up in your business so then you can go show up for your kids instead of letting everything run together? Is your current childcare plan still the best fit? Again, really good questions to be asking yourself. Are your earthly pursuits in line with your eternal pursuits? What are your priorities? What about your job gives you life? What do you love about coaching? What do you need to surrender? What needs to be laid at Jesus' feet? Is it the outcome of this business? Is it the outcome of your fitness journey? Is it your health? What needs to be laid at his feet? What needs to be surrendered? How can you improve your client experience? How can you show up for your coaches better? How can you help them truly get results? What investment of time and money yielded the most profitable results? Now, see here that I put, it doesn't have to be money, but what yielded the most, quote, profitable results? So whatever that profit is for you. So whether that's the joy of seeing people get results, whether that is, just mental clarity or growth, or whatever it is, what truly yielded the most profitable results for you? Because you can't say yes to everything. If you're going to run this business and be famous in heaven and at home first, you can't do everything that comes at you. And so what truly is yielding the best results? Is jumping on the morning action hours and being present yielding the best results? Getting your tracker done early in the morning so that when your kids are up, you can be present with them, giving you the most profitable results? What investments of time and money didn't move the needle? These are hard questions, guys. Like, what giveaway did you do that you put money into? What training did you buy that just didn't really move the needle? What investments did you make of time and of money just didn't really help you progress in your business and in your life? What are the best decisions that you made in 2021? What were the worst decisions you made from 2021, and how can you learn from them? How can you simplify? What are some areas of your life where you can simplify? This has been a huge topic for me with Brian. Creating systems, it's been huge. Caroline, we've got to simplify so that you can show up better in other areas of your life and in other areas of your business. So how can I create systems to be able to do that? What were the worst decisions that I made, and how can I learn from them? How can I continue to improve my efficiencies? Does it make sense for me to be getting on a call with every single coach, or can I do a team call? Because efficiency wise, that just makes the most sense. How can you simplify? How can you make this business more doable, more understandable for your coaches, for your clients? How can you truly simplify? Guys, these are important questions. You are business owners. This isn't a hobby. This isn't this isn't a side hustle even. Like, I don't even like thinking of it as a side hustle, because this is a business that you get to run, and maybe it's in an hour a day, but this is your business. And so you have to think of it as a business. CEOs are sitting down every day and they're evaluating where they're at. Where are they at as a person? Where are they at as a leader? Where are they at in their business? Sit down and really think through these things. If you want for your community to grow, if you want your impact to grow, if you want your influence to grow, if you want your business to grow, you have to be reflecting on these things. Oh, went back a little too far. Okay, so last questions on the celebrate portion. How can you create more headspace? What can only you do? What can you delegate? Delegation is huge, guys. What systems can you create to take things off your plate day to day? And then lastly, what is one area that doesn't align with the best life vision that you have for your life? What do you need to get rid of in order to truly be famous in heaven at home, focus on your family, focus on your business? Like, what things need to give? You can walk through this by going on a walk. You can look through old pictures. Maybe for you, it's, sitting down with your phone and looking through old pictures from this year. Maybe it's looking back at your calendar, thinking about all the fun things that happens this year. I sometimes have to do that because I'm like, man, what did I do this year? Like, this year flew by. It's crazy. But really take time to celebrate and really take time to reflect on this past year, because so many good things happened this year, and you can build upon those and celebrate those before you head into a new year and start thinking about how you're going to take action on 2022. And then the next thing is going to be to start to picture what 2022 is going to look like and make a game plan. So you've really got to start setting some intentions for 2022. I love this quote by Dave Ramsey. He says, "Some people dream and stop there. They never do anything about making their dreams come true. Visions are dreams with more clarity. Dreams become a reality only when you pull them gently from the clouds and convert them into visions. The most pathetic person in the world is someone who has sight but no vision." They have a dream. They have something they want to do. They throw it around, but they never actually make a game plan for how they're going to make it happen. And like Dave Ramsey said, that's sad. That's sad. We have to take those dreams. We have to pluck them out of the air. Those things that we've been throwing out there for forever, saying, oh, when this happens, I'll do that. When that happens, I'll do that. No, pull those down and give them a vision and give them a game plan and make them happen. You can make them happen as a busy mom. You can make them happen as a homeschool mom. You can make them happen as a mom who works a full-time job. You can make them happen as a busy college student. You can make them happen as a career woman who has long, busy days. You still have the time to take those dreams and turn them into a reality. Now, it may mean that you've got a little less time that you can give each day, but if you show up day in and day out consistently, they will start to accumulate and you will start to see growth. The worst thing you can do is to show up today and not show up tomorrow, and then show up next week and not show up the next day, because that's when you lose trust, and that's when you lose momentum, and that's when you have nothing to compound on. Proverbs 29:18 says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." I love this other quote from Dave Ramsey. "Where there is no vision, your marriage will fail. Your family will be dysfunctional. You will stumble in your spiritual walk. You will get fat and flabby, and your money will disappear." If you do not have a plan in your life, all of us know that we want to raise children that love Jesus, that serve him, that follow him, that pursue him, that have a true relationship with him, right? And so we, every day, we show up and discipline and serve them and parent them in a way that is hopefully going to foster those results. And we got to do the same thing in our businesses. We show up every day and we do the things, the disciplines, the consistent habits in order to get the results that we want. We can't say that those results are 100% going to happen, but we're going to show up in hopes that they do, right? Same thing in our businesses. We show up in hopes that that's what it's going to create. And we have a vision for where we're going. We trust God with it. We know if he leads us in a different direction, that's okay. We're in for the ride of wherever God leads us. But at the end of the day, we're going to show up and do the action. We're not just going to sit back and wait around for our next customer to fall on our front porch. We're going to do the thing. We're going to show up. We're going to give our best and trust God with the results. What is your personal mission statement? This is so important, guys. You should have a personal mission statement. I love the book by Dave Ramsey, EntreLeadership. It is an incredible book. Being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, is being a leader. And so you have to take leadership in your own business and in your own life. Without a good mission statement, you have the potential to go to the top of the ladder only to find it leaning against the wrong building. Where do you want to go in this business? Your personal mission statement is essentially your why. Why are you showing up here? A mission statement is further clarification and definition of your dreams and your visions and assures you that your goals are aimed to the right target. Guys, sit down over the next 2 weeks before we head into the new year and figure out, what is my personal mission statement? Brian and I actually have a family mission statement. We actually have family pillars that we broke down. We use the marriage journal to do those. But it is really important that you know where you're going. We know as a family what our goals are, what direction we want to go, what direction we want our kids to go. We're not just going to show up in life and be like, oh, hope we raise some godly kids. Maybe they'll turn out good. I'm going to trust the church to do that or trust these people to do that. No, I'm taking action. I'm trying to really make sure that we're taking the steps. Obviously we can't 100% control the outcome. They have their own choice and they're going to choose what direction they want to go, but we train them up, right? And so having that vision, that mission statement in your business is also very important. Dan Miller says a mission statement should reflect your calling, and it should include 3 things. You and your skills plus your abilities. This is what do you do? Number 2 is your personal traits. So this is the how, okay? So how do you and your team execute things? That is your personality. That's how you like to do things. And number 3, your mission statement should include your values, dreams, and passions. So this is truly your why, right? So it's the what you do, the how you do it, and the why behind it. And your personal mission statement should include that. And so should your business mission statement as well. So you have a personal mission statement for your own personal business, but then also for your team and the direction you want your team to go. Goals are visions and dreams with work clothes on. Goals convert into energy, and goals help make great women. So as we start to think about our vision for 2022, we then want to break it down and we want to think about what are our goals in order to achieve those visions. Goals that work have 5 main components, okay? So number 1, they're specific. Number 2, they're measurable. Number 3, they have a limit. Number 4, they have your goals must be your goals. They can't be Caroline's goals. They can't be Kirby's goals. They can't be Brittany's goals. They have to be your goals in this business. And goals must be in writing. It's not enough to just say them. It's not enough to say, I want to be a 10-star diamond one day. Okay, what's your game plan for getting there? It needs to be specific. When do I want to be there by? It needs to have a time limit. I'm not going to say that I want to be a 10-star diamond by December of 2022. It needs to have a quicker time limit than that. I want to be a 10-star diamond by the end of Q1. And here is what I'm going to do. Each month, I'm going to bring on X amount of coaches. I'm going to run a diamond internship. I'm going to really focus on developing these 3 leaders who I truly think can get to diamond. You know what I mean? Like, it has a very specific action plan around it, because that's what I know needs to happen in order for me to get there. Why do I want to be 10-star? Because I know that if I can get to 10-star, that my coach's income is going to grow, that our income is going to grow. So then we can maybe send our daughter to a Christian school, or maybe give more to a ministry we feel called to, or maybe to bring my husband home from his job so that he can help with the discipling of our children here in the home. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are just examples, but like, that is how you take your goal and why your goal and what's your vision for your family. And those goals start to break down into these actionable items and these things that really start to get you thinking and really setting actionable items for quarterly and monthly in every area of your business. So goals must be specific. Let's break that down a little bit. You cannot be vague when it comes to your goals. So saying that you want to lose weight is not specific, right? Like, when we have a customer say, I want to lose 30 pounds. Okay, awesome. So here are some examples of specific goals. Sorry, I'm saying this backwards. So saying, I just want to lose weight. Okay, that's cool. So what is a more specific goal? Okay, I want to lose 30 pounds. I want a waist that's 4 inches smaller. I want to make 100,000 per year. I want a college degree in blank. I want to have dinner with 6 couples. Like, very specific goals. What are those specific goals? Number 2, goals must be measurable. So once you land on what your specific goal is, you can make a plan for tracking your goals. So an example is some people write their measurable goals down on a whiteboard in their office or hang them in their refrigerator, because then they can start to see those measurable goals. Measurable progress is called attraction. So when you can watch movement towards your goal, that means it's measurable. So if for me, for instance, I have a goal of having 10 success starters next year. That means that every month I need to have one success starter. I'm giving myself 2 months of grace period. So I'm going to every month have a checklist for my goals for the month. And I can go and say, oh, did I get my success starter for the month? Check. That's moving toward my measurable goal that then also plays into elite and a lot of other things within my business as well. Goals must have a time limit. So goals without a time limit are unable to be broken down into micro goals in order to measure your progress. So goals have to have a deadline, guys. Like I said, I want to hit diamond by January 31st is a great example. Then you would sit down and figure out what you need to do to make that happen. Okay, you need 20 more coaches. All right, which for diamond, you only need like 10 coaches, but you need 10 coaches because you're currently just a coach yourself, but you want to be a diamond coach. So you need 10 coaches. So that means that over the next 3 months, let's say by the end of quarter one, you want to hit diamond. That means in January, February, and March, each month, you need to sign up 4 coaches. Give yourself some wiggle room. Obviously, you just need 10, but that'll give you 12, and that'll give you some cushion in case people go inactive. So every month, your goal is to get 4 new coaches. Okay, so you could even break it down even more than that. You could say 1 more new coach a week. Awesome. How am I going to get there? I'm going to run coach sneak peeks. I'm going to partner up with other coaches to run coach sneak peeks. Like, these are things that you should be thinking about how you're going to break that down. I need to plug in my computer. 1 second, guys. Okay. The 4th thing is goals must be your goals. So my husband wants me to do this business, or my mom wants me to get fit and healthy. That's not going to work. You are not going to stay motivated doing that. This has to be your goal. If you're trying to reach elite for anyone else, or you're trying to reach, losing the 30 pounds for anyone else, you will not be successful, because when the grinding gets hard, when everyone else goes to bed, when no one's giving you praise, when no one understands what the heck you're doing or why you're showing up, you will give up because you have no motivation inside of you to do this, because it's someone else's goal. It has to be your goal. That is what will help you have the toughness to persevere when it gets tough. So when you're passionate and you care about the end goal, you will push through the bumps. You'll want it so bad that you'll show up even when you don't feel like it. And so this is really, really important, that your goals are your goals. And your goals must be in writing. For some reason, this is where most people drop the ball. A lot of people are like, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that, but they never sit down and make an action plan. And I can almost guarantee you that almost every single person on this call, maybe I'm wrong, probably doesn't have goals in writing. They don't even know what their goals are. They don't even know what they're doing. They're just like, tonight or this year or this month, I want to hit Success Club. That's not enough, guys. You got to have some more goals beyond that. Like, what's going to make you show up? What's going to make you really start to track your progress? If you think about the people you admire, if you think about the people in this business or in life in general who are seeing growth in their life, it's because they have goals. Maybe it's in your walk with Jesus. Do you have goals? Do you want to, maybe you want to spend more time praying? What's your game plan? How are you going to do that? Do you have a prayer journal you're going to use? Are you going to go on prayer walks? I mean, what is that going to look like in your life? Maybe one of your goals is that you want to start to do chores with your kids and start to create these rhythms and routines with them as well. Cool. Awesome. How are you going to do that? What are those goals? They need to be in writing, guys. They need to be in writing. I love this quote by Clement Stone. It says, I think there's something more important than believing, and that's action. The world is full of dreamers. There isn't enough people who move forward and begin to take concrete steps towards actual vision and actualizing their vision. Guys, it's not enough to just sit back and be like, okay, I'm here and I'm willing. Like, we have to take the steps. We have to show up. We have to move. It makes me think about, like, Erica and her family, they're about to move to a new church. They're moving to a new city. They're not just sitting back and being like, okay, God, like, just, whatever you want to do. No, they're picking up and they're moving. They're taking action. Like those, like, I think about missionaries who pick up and they move across the world. Like, are you willing to move? Are you willing to show up and do the work? Are you willing to stop making excuses and whining and complaining? Like, it is what it is. Your life is what it is. For whatever reason, God allowed you to walk through that situation. For whatever reason, He's calling you out of it. For whatever reason, He's given you the situation that you're in, and it's up to you to make the best of it. It's up to you to choose joy. It's up to you to figure out what your life is going to look like. I grew up in a home with a brother that was severely disabled. He could not walk, he could not talk, and he was about 5 years younger than me. And so from the moment I was 5 years old until I graduated from high school at 18, our entire life revolved around, not revolved, but a lot of our life revolved around him and what he could do and what he couldn't do. But the thing is, as I saw my mom show up every single day with joy, truly, I remember hearing her crying in the living room, asking the Lord why He did this to her. Why did she have a child with disabilities that literally sucked every ounce of energy from her? But guess what she didn't do? Like, as soon as, she had that hard moment, she faced it and she trusted the Lord and she picked herself back up and she went and did the dang thing. And like, I have seen the Lord work in their lives in incredible ways. God literally, from the moment that my brother was born, the Lord just started using my parents' business and it took off, and it just boomed. Their business boomed as they consistently showed up, not perfectly because their life wasn't perfect, but they kept showing up. They didn't have excuses. And I think right now in our culture, in our generation, there is a lot of people with a lot of excuses. Most people do not want to actually do the work to see the results over time. Most people want instant gratification, instant results. They're not willing to put in the work to see their business get to where they want it to be in 4 or 5 years. They think that they deserve for their business to be making $6,000 in 2 years. And guys, like, we don't deserve any of this. Like, we get the blessing of hopefully seeing that pay off. And I believe you will if you show up and you're truly doing the work. But if you start slacking day in and day out and you can't show up, why are people going to trust you? Why would a customer trust my parents to show up on a job and get the job done correctly if they started getting the reputation that they showed up inconsistently? No, you have to choose joy. You've got it. Your life is what it is. I think about Lauren. Lauren is a great example. She struggles with lupus, and some days are hard and some days she just like literally has hardly anything to give. But the thing that I love about Lauren is that she shows up, y'all, consistently. This girl hits Success Club every single month for the most part, and she doesn't make excuses. She doesn't make excuses for why she can't do it. She doesn't make excuses for why she can't show up. Some days she's able to just do a little bit, but on the days she can give a bunch, she gives a bunch and she shows up and she does it with joy. And that's the kind of attitude we all need to have in this business. We got to take action. We got to stop making excuses and say, why me? Why me? Why me? We all have hard things in our lives. And so you've got to, if you really want to see this business grow, if you want to be home with your kids, you've got to put in the work. Every single one of us is busy. Every single one of us. And I would argue, and I'm sorry to the moms who or people that might work full time, but I will tell you, I've been on the other side of working a full-time job and my kids going to daycare, or not daycare, but like babysitters and things like that. I had more time then to work on my business than I do now because I'm with my kids and I can't always just show up. I have to be even more disciplined. And so stop dreaming about the grass being greener on the other side and start just taking ownership of your life and what you can do. Obviously, we know that at the end of the day, the Lord controls it all, but we have to show up. having a dream that moves to a vision, then to a mission statement, and then is broken down into goals is essential to winning personally, but it's also crucial in business. If you guys want to grow, like, what are you doing to grow your mindset? Are you reading books? Are you in the Word? Are you praying over your business? Are you asking the Lord for vision? Are you asking Him to help you take the next right step? Guys, these things are crucial in your business if you want to see results. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is after you kind of take that time to reflect, you're going to sit down and you're going to just start to think about what are some of the goals in your life, in your spiritual life, in your family, in your business, physically, in your own like health and fitness journey. What are some of your goals? And you're going to start to kind of put these into these buckets. And then you're going to kind of break them down by each thing. So once you kind of write some things down in these buckets, you're going to dive into each one, okay? So spiritual, what 3 things am I grateful for in my walk with Jesus that He did this year? What happened in my walk with the Lord? What were some things, maybe it was pruning, maybe it was He started to reveal to you some junk in your own life, like, hey, this pride in my life that I've been struggling with, or, overcoming, being a gossiper, or whatever it is that the Lord revealed to you this year that you've been really worked through, and it stunk and it was really stinking hard, but you're really grateful for it because it's made you better. And then the following things have been on my heart to commit to. I know that I can't do them all, but I have prayed for clarity and really believe God is calling me to do the circled ones this coming year. So this is kind of for you to bring up, okay? Just bring up, what are some of the things that you really feel like maybe the Lord has laid on your heart that you want to commit to in your walk with the Lord? Guys, you cannot do everything, okay? So think about circling 1 to 2 that you can truly do. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't commit to everything, but just start to think about what are the things that you feel like you can truly do. And then you're going to do the same thing for your family. So what are you thankful for that God did in your family this year? How did He grow you guys? Maybe something specific in one of your children. Then start to think about those 3 things that you really want to focus on for next year. Physical. I actually, one of the things that I wrote down was that I feel like is a very good investment in my business that's always profitable is my commitment in my own health journey. It makes me a better mom. It makes me a better wife. It makes me a better business owner. It makes my business grow. I think that me investing in my own health journey always yields good results. And so whether that's investing by time of showing up and giving it time it needs, whether that's the investment of, mentally meal prepping and growing and learning and understanding the supplements, like all of these things, these are areas that I know help yield better results. They make me more confident. They make me feel better. They give me more energy. So not even necessarily just physical as in the way you look, right? But like what are some things that you're grateful that the Lord did in your physical health this past year? And I feel like we've had a lot of really amazing, like just health wins this year. So I think that, Lauren, hopefully she doesn't care I say this, but she sent me a voice message yesterday that she went to the doctor and her doctor told her lupus is better than it's ever been. The outcome of showing up in her own health journey. Erica, Ashton, Aaron completing 75 hard. I mean, Erica got crazy amazing results this year of just like seeing like that weight that she'd been carrying fall off, and not just even physically, but also in every other area of her life. And so what are those areas that the Lord's like really just, think about all the babies that are growing in bellies in this team. Like, I feel like there's something in the energize, but so many women who are just growing life right now. These are physical wins that we can just be so grateful to the Lord for. And then in your business, what are you grateful for? Guys, we get so focused on the things that aren't happening, but man, what about all the amazing things that are happening? What if you leaned into those and allowed those to fuel you as you head into the new year? What are you going to commit to in 2022? What do you want to see change in your business? And then I really want you guys to come up with a personal statement. So what's your personal vision statement? This is going to be what fuels you to keep driving forward. I have a vision statement for our team, but I have a personal vision statement as well. And this is so important. That personal vision statement is really that deep why. And guess what? It helps me when coaches start to fall off the bandwagon, or they start to, I see people just not really showing up anymore. And it gets really discouraging because I'm like, man, like it makes me sad because we were really close and we were all running together at one point, and now, they're not really pursuing the business, or XYZ is happening, and it gets discouraging, especially when it's a lot of people at one time. But when I know my own personal mission statement and why I decided to start showing up in this business, it fuels me to keep going and not give up, because guess what? There's going to be other people that God brings, and he's still using me, and he uses these things to refine us and make us more like him. And so what is your own personal mission statement in your business? So as a reminder, our mission statement here at Fit for His Glory, Sisters, is the Fit for His Glory Sisters' goal is to lead women to live strong and healthy lives for the glory of God. We do this by providing biblically based health and business training with the goal of helping people help people. So we bleed blue here at Beachbody, right? We bleed blue here on the Fit for His Glory Sisters. We love Beachbody programs and products. But truly, I look at this team as my own business. Like, yes, Beachbody gives us the tools, they give us the things to make this business happen, but our mission here on our team is so much bigger than Job 1 or P90X or Shakeology or any of those things. Our vision and our mission together as women who specifically love Jesus and pursue Jesus, is that we want to remind women where their worth is found. Like, we want them to live strong and healthy lives that glorify Jesus, strong lives in the Word, strong and healthy lives that are reliant upon him, that are submitted to his will over theirs. And we want to do everything we can to point them to Jesus through our trainings, through our challenge groups, whatever it is that we're doing. But ultimately, our goal is to help people then go help people. We can't do this on our own. We all have limited time, limited capacity. But if I can help a few people every month, and then you can go help a few people every month, and then that person go help a few people every month, that's when the mission starts to expand. And I think that's the really cool part. So start to also think about what's your daily routine. I think it's always good that we take time every year to really reflect on, okay, what does my daily routine look like? What do I want 2022 to look like? What do I want my daily routine to look like in order to really produce action towards my vision? So this is obviously an example of my daily routine, but just to kind of get you thinking about your own. Well, I don't know where that last slide went. I don't know why it's not showing up. So all in all, guys, take some time over the next 2 weeks to get still. Instagram's still going to be there when you come back. You could still post on your Instagram and just take a break from stories if you wanted to, but people are going to be there when you come back. But you taking the time to truly reflect and get prepared for the new year, whether it's taking 3 days off or just taking your nap time that you would typically work on your business tracker and sitting down and printing this off and walking through this is going to set you up for success. It truly will. And then I'll take it a step farther, and I'm actually going to share my screen with you guys. And none of this is like, solidified things, but just want to show you guys an example of what I actually did. So I have pretty much completed my vision stuff for the year. And last night, Brian and I sat down and we took those thoughts. This just helped me start to reflect, right? I've also done tons of prayer walks, and I've been talking to the Lord about this every single day. But I sat down last night with Brian and I put down, what are my yearly goals? So I wrote those out, what my yearly goals were. And then we broke them down monthly. And then we talked about some action items that I need to kind of work through. Then we talked about some system ideas. Systems is something I'm really focused on for 2022. I've already been doing a lot of system stuff, which I'm going to do a whole team call on in January, but there's a few more things that I want to work on. And Brian gave me some room for improvement ideas. Still working through those, like of other things on my list I need to add to that. And then we started to break down like the quarter. So quarter one, came up with, I'm kind of like similar to how podcasts have series. I'm kind of giving myself like a series for January, and then a series for February. So a lot of my content will be built around the series. So I'm really focusing on discipline and habits. So I already have planned out what my each blog post will be about each week. And then I broke down what February's blog posts are going to be about. So now I have to finish up March. And then I wrote down what's going to be in my vision board. So he and I sat down and kind of came up with like what's on my vision board. Personally, for me, I know some people are not a fan of vision boards. For me, it's not about getting stuff necessarily. It's also just, it's a visualization of other things, right? So things that are goals of mine, like being present, going deep with a few friends, growth, 10-star delegation systems. These are things. So I'll just come up with a cute little image to go on the vision board. Some of these are a little bit more like actual things, like a kitchen upgrade, of painting our cabinets and things like that. But it gives me some things as like, hey, these are things I can get really excited about. They're an outcome of this business and the blessing, but also, there's some things here that, we really want. I mean, next year's going to be a big year for us. We're having another baby. Emmeline's going to kindergarten. These are big things that are happening in our life. And so sitting down and kind of coming up with some of those. And then I don't know if I put it on here. I thought it was on here. But like you guys can see here, even with Elite, like I didn't hit it until this month. So we put on here, like my goal for next year is to hit it by June. So starting to break some of these things down and then even have them like monthly broken down. So still working through this, but we sat down and started working on this yesterday of just having a game plan. I personally, and again, I'm going to do a team call on this. So, but I use Asana. I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you guys see this? I use Asana. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. This is how I talk to my assistant and how I put things on her to-do list. But this is our Fit for His Glory board down here. So each day, I have certain things that I do, and she has certain things she does. So you guys can kind of see here, Monday, she's creating blog post graphics and putting my blog post up and all that kind of stuff. And then Tuesdays, we've got certain things, and Wednesdays and Thursdays, it's recognition. And so she just got those boards done probably. And then, Fridays, more recognition. So there's things I do each day, but then I actually made I made these boards for my new coaches. So I have each of my new coaches on here, and I have a breakdown of things for them as well. So, when Ashley, signs up I need to go through and update hers, but when she hits Success Club for the first month, I can check this off. So I can really keep track of my new coaches and kind of where they're at in the business. And then we also have a board for just ideas, blog posts, IG posts, things like that. And then I have my own little to-do list here as well. So I have certain things I do each day in my business. So these are things that I'm continuing to develop, but things just to kind of keep me organized and systems in order just to make my business kind of flow a little bit more. So hopefully this is helpful, guys, just to get you starting to really think about 2022. I am going to put a little pop-up for the week between Christmas and New Year's. I'm going to put a pop-up little party during the day. It'll probably be during nap time. And so I will post it, but we're going to do a little vision board making party. So for anybody who wants to hop on, we'll do it on Canva. And just all hop on and kind of share, like, so what are you putting on yours? What are some things you want to work through? So taking some time over the next week to work through all of this so that you have your goals in place and you kind of know what direction you want to go. And then we can do that little kind of vision board making party together. It will be really fun. So I'm going to check the chat for comment or questions. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat box. Anybody? Dave Ramsey, King of Saying It Is Like It Is. Yes, I will be sharing this. What I did personally was I just printed off, like, you know how on Canva you can print just the ones with like writing on them. I didn't print off all the slides like with all the Dave Ramsey quotes and everything. I just printed off the ones that had the specific stuff for me to work through on them. I'll see if I can download that one, and then I'll just upload that for y'all. So that way you can easily just print it. Yes, Felicia Masonheimer uses those Cultivate sheets as well, power sheets. They're a little expensive, but I'm excited to try them out. Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much. If there's not any questions, let me know how this goes. Do me a favor, if you try this out, will you just tag me in your stories doing it if you post something about it? I would love to just be able to share. Like I said, I put this in my blog for anybody to use. So coaches out there, I get messages every day, I'm sure like you guys do too, of coaches on other teams who don't have like an upline that's a believer, or they're not on a team of believers. And so I just want to make these resources available for them too, to hopefully help them. So if you guys don't mind tagging me, I would love to be able to share it so I can link those for them as well. So, all right, I want to pray for y'all really quick, and then I'll let you go. Thanks for being on the call today. This was so fun doing a little nap time one. Sometimes I'm so tired at night. Feel like I'm like dragging, but Heavenly Father, God, thank you so much, Lord, for today. Thank you for the joy of just these incredible women in this community. God, I think back to just a few years ago when I would hop on here and no one would be on, but I showed up anyway, God. And God, I just pray that, that these women would persevere. God, it's December. There's a lot of people who've already thrown in the paddle. They've already given up on their journey. They've already given up on their health journey. They've already given up on their business journey. But God, I just pray that you would help us to lean in and show up even when we don't feel like it. God, give us commitment and consistency, Lord, joy in what you've called us to. God, I just pray that we would show up with excellence, God, as we take time to reflect, Lord, would you just give us fresh vision, fresh joy for where you want to take us? God, would we set attainable goals and dreams, Lord, and visions that align with your greater vision, Lord, and that's making disciples. God, our goal as believers is to share about you, and what a gift that we get to work a business that we can openly do that, God. Lord, I just pray that as we reflect, we would celebrate, we would be filled with joy, and we'd be excited about taking that joy into 2022 with our teams, with our coaches, with our clients, in every area of our lives, God. Lord, I just want to pray over these women over the next few weeks as they pause and they get still and they spend time with friends and family, God, that they would put their phone away. What if we all just turned our phones off for December 24th and 25th? And Lord, literally just soaked in what was right in front of us, God. Lord, I guarantee we would all come back different. And so, Lord, I just pray that as we reflect, as we take the time to spend time in your word and in prayer over where you're taking us, that we would come back more excited and more fired up about the mission that you have called us to than ever before. God, we love you so much, and I praise you for your faithfulness. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Thank you guys for being on. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.